The Knicks have just won the NBA Cup in a fantastic game against the San Antonio Spurs, which really did come down to the wire, with the Knicks winning 124 to 113. And I just had a few thoughts that I wanted to share about both teams regarding the Knicks and the Spurs in this fantastic game. And I really wanted to give props to Adam Silver as well, because the NBA Cup has been a fantastic addition over the past 3 years, and it's been a really fun watch, especially seeing how these teams take this seriously and actually compete. And it's been a breath of fresh air early into the regular season, because we're about a month and a half through, almost 2 months now at this point, and getting to see some competitive basketball being played is really fun since the playoffs are months and months away. And I just wanted to really give props to Adam Silver and the NBA team for, doing their best with this idea, and it's been fun. And let's get into it real quick. So I wanted to start with the Knicks, and I want to say, man, they played a really good second half of basketball. I unfortunately wasn't able to catch much of the first quarter, so I don't have very many thoughts about that. I just know the Spurs held their own throughout the first half, and the second half is really where it kind of turned in favor of the Knicks, more specifically the fourth quarter. But OG Anunoby was massive in this one. He knocked down 5 threes, and he played some really good defense on everyone basically. He was guarding Wemby some plays, he was guarding De'Aaron some plays, he was guarding Stephon Castle some plays, and something happened with Mikal towards the fourth quarter where he didn't play very much. He only played like 2 minutes or something like that, and OG had a lot of workload on him, and he did great knocking down timely shots, especially in the fourth quarter. I also, during the game, Calf suffered a calf strain, so he didn't play as much as he probably would have. He only played 30 minutes compared to OG and Brunson's 40 and 41. Even Mikal played 33 minutes, so that was pretty unfortunate to see, but it's nice to still see my Knicks pull out the win. And I wanted to dive a little bit more into the fourth quarter that the Knicks had, because that fourth quarter was it was dominant, basically. I don't know how else to really put it, but they outscored the Spurs 35-19 in the fourth quarter, and in crunch time they really showed the inexperience and the youth of the Spurs really showed, because they were struggling to get not just quality looks but looks in general. And the big reason for that is Mitchell Robinson, who is the MVP of this game. Without Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks don't win this game. I don't know if they even, finish close to this game, especially with the way the Knicks were kind of shooting it in the fourth quarter. And Mitchell Robinson only played 18 minutes, right? He played less than 20 minutes, but he had 15 rebounds, 10 of those being offensive rebounds. That's just insane. And he had 8 rebounds in the fourth quarter, 6 boards in 7 minutes of time. They don't win that game without him, or Jordan Clarkson, or OG Anunoby, but more so Mitchell Robinson, because when it mattered most, he showed up and he showed why he's so valuable to this team and why he's the best offensive rebounder in the entire league, maybe in NBA history. And it's something really interesting to see. And one note that I did have is I'm really upset with Mitch Johnson, the Spurs head coach, because why are we not fouling Mitchell Robinson when he grabs these boards? Immediately foul. He's a 20% free throw shooter. Foul the fucker. What? As a Knicks fan, I was happy, but why are we not just fouling him immediately? I think young head coach, inexperience, and Stan Van Gundy was also kind of mentioning every time he grabs the board, you just gotta foul him, because it's likely he won't convert on the 2 potential points you could get. And instead it was just kick out to kick out. Jordan Clarkson was massive in that fourth quarter. He had 8 points in a row. I think he had the 2 threes from Mitchell Robinson kickouts, and then the floater from a Mitchell Robinson kickout. You could tell from what I'm saying, Mitch Rob was so big in this game. So was Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart really did play a good game, even though when you look at the stats, it doesn't look like he didn't really stuff the stat sheets. But in the limited time he did play in the fourth quarter, which I'll get to why he only played 4 minutes, I think. In the limited time he did play, he knocked down big shots. He had that big 3 from the wing, I think it was, and it really pushed the momentum in their favor. And the reason why he didn't play as much as, he typically would have was because Tyler Kolek was fucking hooping. Tyler Kolek played 10 minutes and he actually closed the game because of the issue with Mikal. So, but in the time he played, man, he was so good. He finished the game with 14, 5, and 5. Shot it well from the field. He was so big down the stretch for them. And I mean, I can't stress it enough. He was so good in that fourth quarter. Brunson, he had a good game, but he kind of did slow. He really slowed down in the fourth quarter. He wasn't moving well. I'm not sure. I think he was probably tired, but he had 6 points, 3 of 8 shooting. And I think the rest of the team did a fantastic job picking up that slack. And yeah, and props to Mike Brown, man, because this is just Tom Thibodeau. You kind of expect Cat and Mikal to still be in that game, but Mike Brown decided, Tyler Kolek, Mitch Robb, they're playing well. Clarkson was playing well. Let's run with these guys for a little bit, and they got a ton of extended run in that fourth quarter, and that's what really propelled the Knicks to kind of pull away from this one with an 11-point victory. Now, I wanted to talk about the Spurs as well while we're here, and I want to kind of say the Spurs, they did not shoot well in the fourth and third, and that's obviously right, they didn't. That's why they lost. But to kind of put it into perspective, they didn't shoot well. I mean, the first half either, right? They were shooting about 47%. They did shoot well. They were shooting 47% from the field, and then in the second half, I think it dropped to 35. They could not hit a shot in the fourth quarter. And they did not shoot a lot in the fourth quarter. I think they took 19 shots compared to 30 in every other quarter, which is kind of ridiculous. They also only had 6 rebounds in the fourth because Mitch Robb was just dominating. Only 4 defensive rebounds. 4 defensive rebounds. And if I take a look, the Knicks missed, 17 shots in the fourth quarter. And you were only able to pull away with 4 defensive rebounds. You cannot win a game like that. And Stan Van Gundy said it. If you are an NBA team and you're giving another NBA team 3 chances to score, you have 0 chance of winning the game. No matter how talented of a team you are. You could have literally the 10 greatest players of all time. If the other team is getting 3 offensive rebounds every time they go down the floor, you're going to lose the game. And you're not just going to lose, you're going to get dominated. And that's kind of what happened in that fourth quarter. And I wanted to give my props to Dylan Harper because he was really good in this game. He had 21-7. He didn't have any assists, but if you look at the team shooting, you could kind of understand they were not hitting shots. He shot he hit 5 threes this game, and he hit 10 the entire year, which is so funny. But that was really nice to see. I thought Stephon Castle's playmaking was really good this game. The broadcast pointed it out a lot. He only had 2 turnovers, and he's turnover man. And 12-2 ratio is pretty good. He couldn't really hit shots either. He was 5 for 15 from the field. I thought Wemby was solid, and he was solid. But if you look at the stats, it wasn't anything eye popping. He just played his role and he did good. He did have a solid third quarter. Not even just a solid. He had a really good third quarter, and then the fourth quarter, 0 for 4 from the field, only 2 points, and that was from the free throw line. De'Aaron Fox was also good in the first half. This is kind of going to be the story for the entire Spurs team. They were good in this first half, and then they absolutely shat the bed in the fourth. And that was the same case with De'Aaron Fox, who didn't hit a shot. Luke Cornett was great. Harrison Barnes was alright. Devin Vassell wasn't hitting his shots, but I thought he did play some pretty solid defense. And nothing else really worth mentioning. But this is kind of the youth and inexperience that you really see with some of these teams, because, even if Mitch Johnson says, "Oh, just let him play out the old boards," if I'm Luke Cornett, I'm fouling Mitch Robb. I'm making him hit some free throws. And I do wish they did that, because I think they would have had a far better chance of winning. I also wish that I get really upset when a team goes on a run. Jordan Clarkson went on that 8-0 scoring run, and I think it was, I'm trying to recall, I think it was De'Aaron Fox who just pulled up and shot a 3, and I was like, Why would you do that? You know, why not try and get downhill really quickly? But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, big props to the Knicks in this win, because I think this does, like, at the end of the day, the NBA Cup doesn't mean a ton. Like, it does mean something. It means more than any other regular season game. It does mean something, but it doesn't really differ. But what this really did show me is the Knicks are a really good team, and we know that. And if you look at the East, I don't really think there's a team in the East that could, like, fuck with them per se. Maybe the Pistons, but even then, I don't think the Pistons could really handle a 7-game series against the Knicks. I don't think there's really any team that can handle a 7-game series against the Knicks in the East. The Cavs maybe, but even the Cavs don't look too good this year from injury, whatever it is. And in the Spurs case, I think a lot of people really did jump the gun when they were saying, you know, when they beat the Thunder, they were real title contenders. I do think they are contenders, but I think they have like a 1% chance, right? Like, I would still take the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Rockets over the Spurs as of now. If they trade for Giannis, then I don't know. Maybe they jumped that a little bit. But one more thing I did want to talk about is Wemby had this quote right before the game. Let me just pull it up so I can say it verbatim and not confuse anything. Yeah, but he said they don't play about the Knicks, right? They don't play a brand of basketball as sophisticated as the Miami Heat or the Thunder, but their physicality is top in the league. And I thought that was a really interesting quote. And I think that fourth quarter showed exactly that this motherfucker was right, kind of in that way, because the Knicks do not play a sophisticated brand of basketball. I don't think they're the most physical team either in the league. They are physical, but like the Thunder are like fucking. The Thunder like grab your, like the Thunder push you and shit. The Knicks don't really do that. But Josh Hart and Mitch Rob did a great job on the rebounding, and that's kind of something that's really nice to see. Mike Brown's done a really good job with his offense. They're like the second best offense in the league. You think their defense would be better, right? That's what they were known for the past few years, but it's not. It's a really fun switch up. But yeah, that's really it. I'm just yapping a little bit, but the NBA Cup, man, it's fun. It's fun.